Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the round of 24 here in the TLS3. We are going on to the Group A losers match between Dragon Pain and Cryok.
Muted again.
You caught yourself quick though.
Yeah, I know. I barely even started. And then I got it. It just sounds bad though, losers match. I don't even like the sound of it. It immediately disses on the players who are playing within it.
You know,
but these guys...
It's funny that you say that because at one of Blizzard's SE2 tournaments, I can't remember which one it was, instead of having like a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket, they had winner's bracket and the consolation bracket. Because see, they didn't like the term losers either.
Consolation bracket?
Yeah.
But that's ridiculous because it's not a consolation. Consolation's what you have when you can't win anymore. It's just like, oh, there you go, have the wooden spoon.
I completely agree. I thought it was very, very silly.
Why reinvent the wheel, Blizzard? I mean, you could say the same thing to them about Brood War. But,
yeah. Well, I mean, Blizzard. Hey, Blizzard think like that all the time, right? I mean, they removed the loss count completely from your stats in Battle.net 2, right? That? So you only have wins and you don't have losses, which is like what? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They only show your wins on your profile. So yeah, so if you're like, 100 wins and 500 losses, it just shows as 100 wins. Woo!
Yay!
Yeah.
Top of Auburn League or whatever they have these days.
Yeah. It's pretty weird.
Yeah, but back in the world where things make sense. Well, not real sense, Brood War sense. We're gonna be about to see Dragon versus Cryok in the losers bracket of this round of 24 Group A, and it's gonna be a cool match. I think Dragon's going to be on top of it, but Cryok can be a difficult guy to play against, because when he wants to, he can defend. He can defend all night, and I would rather expect that's what he's going to try and do because he knows he's on the brink of elimination right here. So I think he's going to be able to be wanting to play it safe. Yeah,
and another interesting factor I think is, we generally have a shortage of Terrans in the foreign scene, right? So I'm wondering how much practice Dragon even has in PvT. Like, I'm pretty sure he's played a lot more ZVP and PvZ than he has played PvT. So, Cryok might, try something tricky and Dragon's just not familiar. I mean, there are some, little things you can do, especially on this map. The natural is cliffable and all that. So you just got to keep your eye out. But otherwise, I think generally Aztec is pretty nice for PvT, so still going to favor Dragon there.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I'm not sure I'd ever imagine Cryok as the kind of guy I'd call tricky. I just never expect to see anything tricky out of him, but you never know. We could see him take advantage of that high ground, and I'm surprised we haven't really seen anyone do that yet.
I agree. So, well, shall we go into the game and find out what he does?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. And here we go. At the bottom right position as the teal Protoss, we have Dragon Pain. At the 12 o'clock position as the green Terran, we have Cryok.
Yep, we do indeed. Go back to something I was reading in the stream chat. Apparently, in the commercial break, there was an advert for some kind of toilet. Now, I don't know about you, Sel, but I'm more worried than anything that I'm missing out on some great advancement in toilets. Because what if they've completely reinvented the whole thing?
Well, they'd have to go pretty far. I mean, like, have you seen Japanese toilets? They have, like, an insane number of features. Like, Japanese toilets can actually wash your butt for you. I'm not even kidding. It actually, like, shoots out a stream of water.
but how'd you get dry?
I have no idea. But all I know is it shoots a stream of water upwards to wash your butt. And it's got like,
kidding me.
Yeah.
I hope it uses different water. It doesn't just fire the water out of the toilet.
No, it has like a separate water stream. But dude, like I lived in Japan for a couple of years, and the toilet literally has like a control panel on the side with like 15 different buttons on it. But I couldn't read
goes too
Japanese, so I
far.
didn't really know what they all did. But I definitely know it can shoot a stream of water out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Wow. I would never go near any of those buttons. She's just afraid of getting sucked in or catapulted off, or it calling the emergency services to have them break down the door while I'm happily sitting on the loo reading a book or something.
Someone in the chat says a hot air jet dries your butt for you. There you go.
What? What? This is ridiculous.
Oh man.
What a world we live in.
It's a good invention though, right? I mean,
I don't even know. I don't even know. You get like a perm while you're on the loo. This is terrible.
Okay. So what's happening here? It looks like Pro guy's going the wrong way. SCV guy's going the right way. Elegant needs a little timeout here to catch his breath.
I really do. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we have some very confused scouts kind of wandering all over the map at this point, but it's nothing too special. Nothing too crazy being missed. We do have 3 guys on gas for Cryoc right now, but it looks like he's going to take one of them off. So he's going to not be doing anything too well, though it could of course always be a 2-fact transition. You never quite know. Terran is always capable of sticking another SCV on gas and doing just a slightly delayed 2-fact. It can happen. So we're going to keep an eye out for that. But meanwhile, it looks pretty standard from Dragon. Yeah, entirely standard so far. First Dragoon's on the way now, and he's going to get range very soon as well, barring any kind of crazy tech.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Siege Expand. Boom.
Yeah. I think so.
Because, yeah, as you say, the 2 guys on gas is a little bit weird. I mean, might be for some kind of fast drop, but I instinctively feel like I've seen a game like this before in the qualifiers, and it did end up being a Siege Expand. So that I'm just gonna roll with that.
Yeah, it's I just don't really expect the Siege Expand anymore.
Exactly, yeah.
So I'm looking for kind of other things to call it. And now we do have a 3rd guy going back on gas. So, I mean, it could...
It might be a drop actually then. Yeah,
it's too late for another factory to happen. But yeah, we do have a starport happening.
Oh.
And here you go. You called it. I was against the idea, but Cryoc going for the starport action. So yeah, he's going to be taking advantage of that high ground we see outside the natural expansion for Dragon, and that's going to be really interesting because it can be tough to shut down. And curious to keep an eye on now whether Dragon goes for an early-ish robo or not, because I think he's really going to need a shuttle in order to shut down whatever's going to happen to him.
Yeah, going for the fast shuttle reaver on a map where you have that cliff is generally just a good idea, so you can use it both for attacking and for safety. Oh, this probe might die! Ooh, nice snipe on the probe though by Cryoc. In the meantime, it looks like Dragon is actually just going to go for a 1-gate expand here, and that could end up being really scary for him when this drop gets in. Now let's see what's actually going to be dropped here. So it looks like it might just be a Vulture drop. Notice also that it's going to be easy for him to drop into the back of the main if he just flies around the right side of the map, given the spawning locations. So Dragon's going to have to be careful. He has made a robo now, so that's going to help him a little bit, but he's going to be fairly short on Dragoon count actually, because he's going to be on this 1 gate for quite a while still.
Yeah, it's it really takes a surprising amount of time to build up any kind of decent number of Dragoons when you have to be defending on more than one front, as you often do when you've got drop shoots happening. You've got to be ready to really split yourself, and you've got to have the Dragoon count to do that. I'm surprised that Dragon isn't being a little bit more proactive with the Dragoons, because he needs to be heading off that pressure a little bit further forward, because as it is, he's going to be defending pretty much right outside his own natural, and he needs time. Time is important, so you can get across the map, and you can pick off Marines and maybe the Vulture if you're lucky as you go back. But here, he's not even defending his ramp. This is really, really poor from Dragon. That ramp was his kind of real mainstay position to defend, and he's lost a lot of health off 2 of his Dragoons right there. He hasn't picked off any Marines yet. He might lose 2 Dragoons right here very, very quickly. Now has 4 Dragoons, so he should be able to hold fairly easily. I thought he was going to walk forward into a mine right there, but not quite going that far forward. But as I was saying before, he needs to be able to defend on 2 fronts, and I don't know, especially after losing all that health for those 2 Dragoons, if he's really got the power to do that.
Yeah, that was some lackluster Dragoon control, although I think he was also a little bit unlucky that none of the Marines died. But we do see a command center behind this as well, so Cryoc not going to go crazy with this attack, but he doesn't need to. This is primarily just going to, force the Protoss back a little bit and then try and do as much economic damage as possible with this drop. I mean, he can even just attack with the Marines and attack in the front as well when the Dragoons go pull back. So this is going to be quite bad. Now, a probe is going to spot this now, and here we go. There's the drop. The Dragoon's going to have to come back. All the Dragoons immediately coming back. That's a mistake. He should have... I don't think he needs all of them back, because now an attack can go into his natural as well. I mean, Dragon actually making a similar, oh god, he's making a similar mistake to what he did against True Touch there, just allowing his whole army to just be pulled by a few units here. I mean, 3 Vultures can't even take on, you know, 2 Dragoons by themselves unless they get really good mine placement, which is hard in such low numbers. We do see some more goons coming back actually now to the natural, so Dragon is now properly splitting his forces and managing to pick off these units without taking an excessive amount of damage. But here comes the tank drop on the cliff, exactly what we were looking for here. Finally, someone is abusing the tap drop. Oh god, this is gonna be so brutal.
Yeah,
oh man, you gotta run.
nasty.
You gotta run. Oh god. No, don't fight it. No, don't fight it. No, don't. Don't fight it. You can't fight it. Dude, this is how Gotunk lost. No, Gotunk. Oh my god.
This is seriously bad. He
This
needs a shuttle.
I'm having flashbacks to when Gotunk played his game in Fat versus GSP. This is exactly how he lost. He suicided like 10 Dragoons into 2 tanks.
Yeah, I do remember that. It's such an easy mistake to make though, because you feel like you just can't wait for that shuttle. But if you lose all your Dragoons to 2 tanks, then you're basically going to throw the game anyway. You need to wait for the shuttle and try and limit damage or deal damage elsewhere, but that is just not the way to do it. And Cryok is at this point way ahead in this game. It looks like now, finally, Dragon is going to be able to clean up those tanks by using Dragoons on the low ground.
Oh,
Just
the Nexus.
yeah, the Nexus just survives. Barely. It's very weak now, very snipeable, of course, and I'd imagine that Cryok's going to try to take advantage of that. And yes, here he comes again. He's bringing the dropship out, and he's definitely going to have a good shot at sniping that Nexus unless Dragon gets around and heads off that dropship.
Yeah, Dragon, I mean, even if he like drops something on the cliff, I'm pretty sure 2 tanks just drop behind the minerals and right clicks could just snipe it down. They don't even need to siege up. Actually, tanks have higher DPS if they're not sieged, so it's better not to if you're just attacking the Nexus. So this is going to be very hard to defend, even if he sees it coming. Now he does have obs over there, but I don't know what the path of the dropship is exactly going to be. He's got a shuttle over there as well, but again, is it just going to not be in time? I mean, here we go. It's sneaking on the bottom. The probe's actually not going to see it. He even scans to make sure nothing's in the way. No Nexus spotting, and here we go. He goes in. There's another scan. Sees nothing there. He sees a shuttle, but I don't think he cares. He just wants to get the Nexus, and here we go. There are the tanks. There is the siege up. No reaction from Dragon. No reaction.
Oh, yeah.
He can even kill some probes first. He doesn't have to target the Nexus, and here we go. Now he needs to target the Nexus.
He's not targeting the Nexus.
And the Nexus is almost certainly going to fall. No chance.
Yeah, absolutely. There goes the Nexus. This is bad for Dragon. He's lost a lot of probes. He's lost the natural Nexus. He's lost not an insignificant number of Dragoons along the way. I think this is starting to get very terrible for him. He is back down to 1 base with his natural Nexus warping back in again. Unless he could do some kind of crazy bulldog at the front. But Cryok's aware of that, and Cryok has a bunker up and ready to defend his natural. Very sensible indeed. Playing very nice and safe back at home while being calculated and aggressive up front. Very good play from here from Cryok, and it looks like he's actually in a good position to take down Dragon, and this is a big result for him if he can indeed do that.
Yeah, he's actually going for a 5-fact follow-up. Oh my god, he's going for... Wait, is that 7-fact? Oh no, it's a 6-fact. Okay, that's more reasonable. I was like, 7-fact makes no sense. 6-fact is okay. It's basically like a 2-base all-in. He's not planning for a long game, which is good. This is actually completely fine. Normally I'm like, 6-fact. But Aztec, 3rd base, very hard to take TVP. You know, the mineral only is quite far away. You got to defend this big area, and it's just a mineral only, and then this inside base is not nice at all. So going for a 6-fact, I think, is totally justified, especially after the opening damage he's done. He's just going for the kill here, and I don't really know if Dragon has any way to stop it, given how much damage he's taken.
I wouldn't imagine so. 6-fact is hard to stop anyway, even if you scout it and can prepare well in advance with a pretty flawless kind of opening. It still boils down to a pretty hard-fought battle. When it really comes to it. So this is going to be, I'm not going to say impossible because I might be forced to eat my words, but borderline impossible for Dragon to realistically stop. He's just going to have to invest so much in trying to get some kind of army out that can take on an undisturbed Terran economy that's pumping off 5 factories. That's a lot of tanks, 6 factories rather. That's a lot of tanks, and that's a lot of vultures. And by advantage of sheer mass, I imagine Cryok's going to be able to push us home. The thing is,
he has an observer in position to actually see these factories, but it's not quite there. I don't know if he's actually gone there and seen them yet, because he has to. He should be checking the factory count, right? I mean, he's pumping off 6 gateways, so I guess there's not much else he can do. And actually, you know what? Given the fact that he went up to 6 gateways and didn't try and take a 3rd yet, I'm pretty sure he knows about the 6-fact, because otherwise he would have taken a 3rd by now. So I'm going to just assume that he knows about it. Meanwhile, there's a vulture drop in the main base. It's going to get cleaned up pretty quickly here. Going to get a few probes at least. but not too bad for the Protoss this time.
Ooh, one last probe with a parting shot. Very, very nice. Yeah, that really wasn't too bad. It definitely just slightly worked out in the Protoss' favor, but never overestimate the value of vultures. They are cheap, they are quick to produce, and spending a few vultures for a few probes, especially when there's so few probes on the map as there are now, it's really not too much of a bad trade, and won't put Crack at any kind of disadvantage in his upcoming push, which is looking scary indeed. We have a good number of Dragoons. We have maybe a control group in total, and we have a shuttle as well, ready to do some decent zealot bombs. But this is going to be so bad. Once again, Dragon is defending the deepest possible position, and I have no idea how he's planning to hold on to this if he doesn't meet his Terran opponent a bit further and delay, because unless he buys himself some time, this army is just not going to be good enough.
I completely agree, and he is moving out now, but it might be too late here. He's giving the Terran a lot of time to move across the map, although mainly the Vultures are leading the way. So it looks like he's going to meet him a little bit closer to him than halfway, which is good. He needs all the space he can get. He really just needs to buy as much time as possible, try and pick off as many units as cheaply as possible. He's got only Dragoons right now, so he cannot let the tanks siege up and get position on him. He really needs to try and pick off as many Vultures and stuff as he can, but now he's got some speed lots. And he's got a good army. He does actually have a good army here. I'm a little bit surprised. Oh, but he's in tank range. Is he going to commit? No, he's going to pull back just a little bit more. He's got to not bleed units. The obs goes down, so he no longer has vision. I think he just needs to commit right now. Is he just waiting for one more round of zealots because he's bleeding units? So, you know, that's going to kind of counter the effect of him waiting for more. I mean, I really think one more round is all he needs to just go.
Yeah, I think he needs to make it happen now. Otherwise, there's going to be too many vultures. Look at all the reinforcing vultures and siege tanks coming up from the back. There's 4 extra siege tanks. Dragon, for some reason, is going around the back. Is he trying some kinds of kind of counter attack?
I think he's just trying to avoid the mines. He's assuming all the mines were laid at the front, so he's going to go around the backside here, and it's sort of a good idea. But is it going to be enough though? He did waste a lot of time doing that. And here we go. The Terran army's moving to meet him, and here's going to be the big engagement. Who's going to come out on ahead? This is going to determine the. Oh my God! No. Shuttle gets sniped with only one zealot making it out here. Dragon now in huge trouble. All the zealots have fallen. That was a huge snipe. Cryog very smartly making 4 Goliaths, as well as bringing his Marines just to target down that shuttle. Very, very good. Now we have DTs. Emergency DTs are on the way, but this is really bad for Dragon.
Yeah. Goliaths, those Goliaths are good Goliaths. They could have actually made the difference there between victory and defeat. As soon as those zealots got down onto those tanks, the battle could have really, really turned around. As soon as the tanks start shooting on each other, then it can start to quickly get bad for the Terran, where it was previously looking really good. But nice snipe there from Cryok to prevent that from happening. Dragon is now once again defending incredibly deep. He's trying to cut off reinforcements, which is probably a good idea, but he does need to be able to defend at home as well to some extent, which he may be unable to do. That is quite a hefty number of siege tanks. There's not many vultures in there, so possibly he might get a decent mine hit right now, but no, the DT is sniped off. And these zealots are actually going to be able to do some decent damage to siege tanks because they are not reinforced by any kind. We could see some huge mines go off on these siege tanks. Will it happen? No, it looks like the mines are just going to go off on these zealots and basically kill them. But somehow Dragon has actually pushed Cryok back.
The goons can trap the tanks. The tanks can't retreat. Dragon should just sandwich the tanks. They're dead. If he sandwiches, Cryok realizes that he can't keep going. He's going to hide in the corner because he knows the goons are in the back. Somehow Dragon is alive. I mean, he's still in bad shape, but he's not completely dead.
I actually don't know how this has happened. Dragon is somehow just about fighting back, although this is the time for Cryok to pull out those tanks which are still remaining him out to the bottom left-hand corner. But Dragon looks like he's going to push all the way back up his own ramp, and those tanks are going to be able to regroup with the main army. Oh, no.
No, they're not going back, though, Elegant. They're going down to attack. What? That's really aggressive here. If the Protoss army attacks him now, he's going to lose all of those tanks for nothing. He's going to siege up, but there's a good number of zealots now. Dragon's going to go for it. He's got to be careful. He's not getting a good angle. The zealot's getting a little bit stuck behind. He might still come out ahead, though. I feel like he can still come out ahead. Dragon, his zealots are closing with the tanks. I think he's got this one. I think maybe it's going to be close. What are these Dragoons doing? Oh, there's more tanks on the other side as well. It looks like Cryok might pull ahead. I don't know. It's so close. It's going to come down to the last unit, but Cryok looks like he keeps that core 2 tanks alive still. More vultures coming in the front as well. This is just edge of the seat attacking right now.
Yes, this is edge of the seat attacking, edge of the seat defending. Both these guys are somehow constantly on their last defensive or offensive legs, respectively, of each of them. And it looks like Dragon is actually going to be able to hold just about. Oh, we can see him go off, taking down the last of those 2 tanks. Nice DT action there from Dragon, proving that DTs aren't only for when you're dead, they can actually be properly useful against Terran when you use them in that way. And it looks like Dragon is actually still kind of in this game. He's a base behind, and that's a gas base as well. I don't see him getting a gas base up anytime soon, but he's actually still alive, and I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, he's doing a pretty magnificent defense right here, but I don't know how long it's going to last. As you say, the economy situation is pretty dire, and he's sort of contained. I mean, not really, because there's another exit out the backside, but yeah, pretty tough spot here. He's going to maybe try and do some magic with these DTs. There's no mobile detection yet, so he could do some mind drags. Oh, nice scan.
Oh.
Wow. Ninja scan. That mine could have been huge.
Really ninja scan. I think that was a combination of luck and skill that he was moving his army out, but seeing the shimmer of the DT, very nice. But he's attacking up a ramp. I don't think this is going to get in position at all. I think he's severely underestimating Dragon right now. It looks like Dragon, knowing this, is going to push down the ramp, and he may actually be able to take out Krayok's army right here. He has the overwhelming advantage. Those Dragoons, oh, suddenly all exploding at once, but he's still able to take down all of these tanks, all of the vultures as well. Wow, Krayok just being way too over-aggressive. Up a ramp right there with not even his entire army, but oh, look at this. The natural expansion of Dragon is now wide open, and he looks like he's going to lose a few High Templar right here, very sensibly having to make an Archon. Oh, that's so unfortunate, having to make 3 Archons out of 6 High Templar, and that is making lemons out of lemonade.
Funny thing is that Archon actually walled the vultures out of the main base, so they couldn't actually run into the main now. So he's going to take a lot of damage here with the natural, but if those vultures ran into the main, I think it probably would have been worse. But yeah, having to morph all those High Templars is, I don't think, what he wanted to do. He's not getting Storm now. I assume he researched Storm, but now he's got 3 Archons that'll obviously be completely useless once they get EMP'd. So that's not ideal.
Not at all.
I'm surprised he got to Arbiters already, though. Where's the Arbiter Tribunal? Oh, it's in the natural, of course.
He's been working on it for a while.
Yeah.
Quite
I mean,
a long while.
Despite all of the attacks and all that's been happening, he's actually managed to tech up in pretty reasonable time right now. And, you know, Protoss late game tech and PvT is pretty deadly. Those Arbiters, man, can be a real game changer. So you never know. Dragon, he's only about 10 supply behind right now.
Yeah, and that's very slim compared to what it possibly should be at this point. Taking 1 mine hit right there on 1 team, but not so much of a big deal. Dragon is kind of roving around with this concentrated army. Imagine if those Archons were 6 High Templar, 4 of them in a shuttle, then that army would be so much stronger. But as it is, Archons are just not quite useless, but next to useless. As soon as they get EMP'd, of course, only 10 health means that they just get taken down instantly. It looks like Dragon is now going to head over to the left-hand side to try and recapture his jurisdiction over that gas base, which is very, very much needed, and he should be throwing down the next there quite soon. But he needs to get some extra army out as well, otherwise he's going to get crushed in a not too distant future by his opponent, although Krayok looks fairly happy to just sit for now, having learned his lesson from his earlier engagements.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually laying a lot of like anti-recall defense and things, which I think is really smart. Maybe waiting for a suicide recall before moving out again. I mean, he should feel pretty safe now with his 3 bases. Also taking other bases, not necessarily that easy. I guess he'll go for the mineral only now, but that's not a huge priority. In fact, he's sitting at an SCV just down to that. Actually, he's got a lot of minerals banked, 1,000 minerals, so he might as well get that. Really should keep up on the macro a little bit better. But yeah, we can see, you know, Dragon's actually getting his 4th base before Krayok does, even though Krayok's 3rd base was up way earlier. So, you know, Krayok is just being passive right now, and this could actually still go Dragon's way, although he's still about 20 supply behind.
Yeah, this is still a lead for Krayok, but it's not anything like it possibly could be. I think even though it's only a mineral only right there, he'd probably do well to take the mineral only. It just gives him that extra kind of vulture boost that can be so useful in the late game when you're having to pump out huge numbers to compete with the large number of speed zealots that you're inevitably facing. His base layout, though, is a little bit haphazard. He really doesn't actually have much room for many more factories at all, which could be problematic as he gets to the later stages, and he's having to reinforce quickly.
Well, I think he might just build them in the space between the natural and the mineral only, because there's actually quite a lot of space here, and it's also a lot easier to defend this space against recalls, because this is where your rally point is anyway, whereas the main base, you have to walk all the way back in, and he has built a lot of anti-recall defense here. I really hope that Dragon doesn't just lose trying some kind of suicide recall, which I think is exactly what Krayok wants.
Yeah, he doesn't look too keen on doing any kind of recall. He's got nearly 200 energy on that Arbiter right now, but he's not showing any hint of moving to make any kind of recall.
Yep, and that is lucky for him. Meanwhile, I hear something's shooting. I don't see what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's an observer, some fighting the dust.
Krayok's been doing a really good job actually of sniping down observers this game, just really on the ball with scanning and things and taking them down. And it's almost like, yeah, both players just content to just chill for a little bit. The men are only about to finish here for Cryok. He's going to get maxed pretty soon. He's got 2-1 upgrades. Does he have 2-2 finishing up? I only see a single armory for him, actually, which is kind of interesting. In the meantime, Olo says there's a bit of a drop at the bottom left base, but there are 2 cannons there, so that got cleaned up fairly easily by Dragon. It looks like he's going to send some goons to try and intercept the dropship. I don't know if he'll get it, though. It's going to be close.
Very close, not quite. But the dropship grinds to a halt and wobbles around, runs away in the other direction.
Saw it with the obs. Should have.
A little bit of a comedy show right there from Mr. Dropship. But it is going to escape for now. The Dragoon's not in any position to intercept them again. Oh, a whole bunch of vultures running into the waiting army of Dragon. One of them getting through, and it's going to just meet cannons, which isn't too great for a vulture's chances. And that was a bit of a wasted harass right there for Cryok. 167 supply right now for Cryok. 157 for Dragon. Dragon slowly but steadily catching up.
Yeah, I think the dropship also did eventually get sniped. I didn't see it actually managing to escape there at the end. But, I mean, Cryok's got to be going soon, right? He's actually not getting another upgrade from the armor. I don't really know what he's waiting for, you know? Yeah, I would have thought he'd be waiting for another upgrade to advance, but he really should be going or doing something right now. Protoss actually at 2-0 already, so Dragon actually, despite everything, has also been keeping up on his upgrades. Dragon really kind of not overreacting or panicking or anything. He's just like, you know what? You know, even though I'm in a really tough spot, he's just playing his game and doing his thing. It's kind of almost the opposite of what happened to Skyline against True Touch, where Skyline just kind of lost his mind. Dragon being very, very level-headed here. Yeah,
very level-headed indeed, but Cryok is going to mount his great push forward now, and maybe a little bit after his opportunity. He's pretty much maxed out, and I guess that's what he's waiting for. I'm surprised he's only on 2-1. I'd have thought he'd be a little bit. Oh, nice science vessel snipe right there from Dragon. Very, very nice indeed, and that's very important. I'm surprised he was able to get that, but we have an arbiter coming in now. Will he be able to get this stasis? Oh no, not even getting a single stasis. And losing an observer to boot as well, that really undoes the nice science vessel snipe we saw earlier. Very, very odd mistake right there from Dragon. I can't help but feel he might have just lost track of that arbiter, and it was completely unintentional that it moved forward at all. But that's a big deal. And the army.
Oh god, the probes are transferring in tank range.
Oh no!
Probes in tank range. Oh no, the probes. All right.
Oh dear me. You sounded a bit like Tom Hanks there, by the way.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like we got another move out. There's the Unsiege. The Ops get sniped down, so there's nothing able to see it. That is a pretty significant army, but slightly fewer vultures than I would have expected, actually. But hey, it is what it is. Oh no! Oh, the monster EMP! He got everything! He got the max energy arbiter. He got the 3 Archons. Oh no, that was horrible.
That's a whole bunch of useless stuff. That is a clump of useless units right there. Dragon. All his tech has been put out of action. When is he
going to commit? He's got to commit soon.
I don't think he ever can.
Units. Oh, he's going. God. He's got High Templar. He needs beautiful storms here. He needs money storms to win. He needs storms. All right, there's one storm. He's going to storm the clump tanks. Oh, why did he stasis? He saved the tanks. He saved them. But he's going to win. Dragon's going to win. How?
Dragon. Oh, nasty mines going off on the Zealots right at the end there. How does that happen? He was against a maxed army. He had almost no tech backing him up. What even went on right there?
Man, dude, Cryok's got like half his army still chilling. Look, he's got so many units left. But,
this is ridiculous. How does that happen?
Protoss, man. Protoss.
But it's not. Oh! Nice mine. This is just suddenly all going Dragon's way. Cryok must be really scratching his head right now. I feel like Cryok did an awful lot right in those engagements. Maybe he could have done with a few more mines ahead of his army, and that would have... Ooh, nice mine going off on a High Templar right there. Another High Templar snipe. Maybe the more mines ahead of his army would have made the difference, because a lot of those Zealots got into the tanks, and they were pretty much unscathed when they arrived there.
Well, see, I did say he had very few vultures relative to his army size. Before the engagement, it was a little bit weird. He did lay some mines, but yeah, it just wasn't quite enough. And Dragon, I mean, notice he did set up a good arc beforehand, so even though he got that EMP off, it just ended up working his way. I was a little bit disappointed in that Stasis Storm combo there, where he like Stasis in order to save tanks from his own storm.
Yeah, that was a little bit ridiculous. I don't quite No, I know what that was. I guess it was kind of he set events in action, and then
Yeah.
and they all happened at once.
He's
by
like,
some-
oh, that's all clumps. Here, let me just put all my spells on that clump of stuff. And then it's like, wait, that didn't go as planned. Now, the funny thing is, Cryok, his Mind Out is main is natural. He's got his mineral only, which has not got that much stuff. And actually, the third is close to Mind Out as well because he took it so early. So in, 30 seconds or so, he's only going to be mining from his mineral only. Now, he does have one more command center. He's going to presumably float to the 3 o'clock base. But this is a little bit scary for him.
Yeah, this is not the best position at all.
Oh, got another cliff drop, Elegant.
That's probably roughly the right idea for Cryok because Dragon, as I was about to say, his economy is just getting a bit out of control right now. He's just spreading over to the left-hand side of the map where he has complete
Oh man, the probes are
control.
transferring into tank fire.
Oh, no.
The probes
Oh,
are
no.
transferring into tank fire.
Oh,
Why are you transferring into the tanks?
this is not good. Why is he taking zealots over there to deal with this? That's like the last thing he wants. They are literally just cluttering the place up and doing a pretty good job of dying. There we go. One storm, but these dragoons are just completely ineffectual. Having to land 2 storms to clean up those tanks. Those zealots just did way more harm than good right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Arbiters actually did more damage than the dudes.
I think you might be right.
Which is pretty sad. Now Cryok is actually so desperate for money, he's floated his main command center to the top left, but there is a Zell blocking that. And we do have another move out. Again, slightly light on the Vultures, I think. He's also not brought everything. He's got a good number of units actually just chilling at the back, which is not what he wants. However, he does have about an even supply with the Protoss, which is generally good for the Terran. He's also sniping obs to keep the Protoss from seeing when he unsieges. Now, Dragon once again has set up an arc, but he has very, very few units now. Actually, I don't know, Dragon has 163 supply, but that seems way less than that in terms of army.
Yep. And 2, was that 2 stasis? That doesn't seem like enough tanks for 2 stasis.
Yeah,
I guess it was
definitely
because
could
they
have
aren't the best spread. Not the most efficient use of 200 Arbiter energy, so that takes a long time to happen. That's a little bit better, taking a lot of Vultures, but they are at the front. Siege tanks are probably better, and the army coming in bit by bit. This does not look like one of Dragon's better engagements. This could be really, really quite bad indeed, but more units coming up from the back. Somehow it looks like Dragon's sort of making this work. I don't quite know. He's managing to cobble it together with this bizarre army movement with an apparently quite tiny army in comparison to his opponent, and he is eventually pushed back, but that just seems to do way more damage than I would have imagined.
Hey man, what can I say? Protoss is a pretty good race. Am I right? Am I right?
Oh. You know your audience.
See, the funny thing is, like, if this had been Idra, I'm pretty sure he would have left the game after losing that first big engagement. But, Cryok, he's fighting back. He did get into a bit of a tricky spot. He's not out of the woods yet. He's actually still behind in supply compared to Dragon, but he's getting his map control again. He can't, but as you say, with all these like crazy engagements for Dragon, Cryok is trying to move out and do a proper push, but he just can't quite do it. So Dragon having the extra bases on the left side is really helping him stay in. Just by stalling the push, he's really giving himself a good shot, although we do have an extra command center floating to 3 o'clock now, as well as the top left base mining. So that's really going to get Cryok's economy back on track. But he needs it because his third is mined out and his mineral only is effectively gone as well.
Yeah, and he's way behind on supply at this point. It's a 15 supply deficit for him, whereas before it was a pretty decent advantage for quite a long time. So it's really, really turned around. Dragon, I don't know how or where he's magicked this up from, but somehow he's really, really pushing back. And these bizarre army engagements in the middle of the map seem to be paying off him every single time. Ever since that 6-fact push first made its way across the map. So very, very, very interesting swing in this game right here. But yeah, you're right, Cryok really needs that base. And if we can have a recall in there from Dragon, I feel that would be a pretty major coup for him. It looks like he is taking an Arbiter over to the left-hand side, so he is preparing a recall, and that looks like it could be a fairly significant recall if he drops all those units in.
It's going to need to be because actually Cryok is pushed so far down that he's almost cut off the left side bases from reinforcements. Oh, the Arbiter actually runs right past a tank drop, and this tank drop cannot be defended anymore unless he somehow like recalls on there because he's got nothing to come over. And there's the recall at the top left base. He's definitely going to take it down for sure, I think. But, a bit of a wasted storm there as well. Oh, another nice storm, though, on the SCVs. He's going to take down the SCVs. He should be able to take down the command center. And there's the big troop movement, though. It looks like Cryok going to dedicate most of his forces to trying and saving this, but I don't think he can save that command center.
No, I really doubt that he can. He just needs to target that down with the Dragoons, and it's going to be absolutely fine. That army is going to be forfeit, but of course, no big deal because Krauk needed that base. And when I say need, he really needed it because now he's got to be super careful. He's got to hold on to every last unit because there really aren't many more going to be coming out of those factories for a little while until he gets another base up and running. Whereas Dragon is mining very, very smoothly at 2 bases. He's not mining incredibly quickly off only 2 bases.
What's Dragon doing?
Right.
Oh, he's got to be careful. He's got to be a little bit careful. His goons were almost running in tank range.
Oh, and there's a couple of mines right there. If these Dragoons run into those mines, that is a very, very lucky bunch of Dragoons right there. Oh, maybe not all of them. But he is going to position himself under the siege tanks and might be able to save the Nexus. We'll see. Landing one, stolen a bunch of vultures here in the middle of the map, and another one. Nice little bit of a snipe there for Cryok. But I think Dragon just needs to stabilize. He really just needs to kind of chill out and take stock of this game. So
he's got one zone at the 3 o'clock as well. How many kills is that going to get? Let's see if Cryok even pays attention here.
Yeah, Cryok.
Oh, he's got it.
Yeah. This is yeah, really, really interesting the way this is going. I think that if Dragon can just kind of shut down these avenues of harassment, and if he can get his army properly collected together, then he's not going to have too much of a difficult time. But that base on the right-hand side might be a little bit of a thorn in his side if Krag's ever able to really, really establish it. Oh, Dragon's Force is getting slightly distracted here in the middle, getting drawn over towards that not a significant number of siege tanks, but he is being able to take out a decent number of SCVs, might be able to snipe off CC as well if he gets in there quickly before those siege tanks come up from the back. It looks like they're being a little bit slow to mobilize, and that CC probably going to go down now too, which puts Dragon in an even better position, and Cryok is running out of ideas really, really quickly.
Yeah, he's actually lifted his natural command center to float over to the top left after he lost that initial one, which was his main command center. So he's actually running low on command centers now. He's only got 2 left. Actually, he might not lose this one. Actually, it's going to burn, but it's not going to die. So if he repairs this one, he can actually save it. Hopefully, he pays attention and does. Meanwhile, he's now resuming mining at the top left, but another base being taken by Dragon. Look at this. Cryok has a huge position in the middle of the map, but it's doing him no good because the Protoss just keeps attacking around the sides.
Yeah, the sides is what Dragon's interested in right now. He's interested in having bases and stopping Cryok from having more, and so he can either take the bases, which are conveniently in the sides, or he can do recalls, which conveniently avoids the middle entirely. So I think that Cryok's position is just being completely bypassed very, very nicely here by Dragon, and Dragon's playing exactly the game that he wants to. And what Cryok is hoping he's going to do is that he's going to want to engage in the middle of the map, but Dragon very smartly just not indulging that desire at all.
Wait, what the hell? Dragon is maxed and Cryok is at 134 supply. When did this even happen? This is a massive supply lead for Dragon. Look at that!
That's
this is
insane.
Crazy. Dragon, but the thing is, his army doesn't even look that... Oh, it's quite split up, actually. No, he does have a decent number of units. He's got them kind of in 2 bunches. And another tank drop. This one's going to be good, I think, unless he instant stasis. He needs to instant stasis, but he's not paying attention because the army's attacking in the front. Why is he attacking in the front? What is he doing? He's suiciding his army. Oh my god. But the tanks are not right-clicked on the Nexus. They're killing probes. See, if he stasis, he can still save the Nexus. The Arbiter has energy, but he's going to go for a recall. He's going for a recall instead. He's going to sacrifice the Nexus, and he's going to go for a recall, but the EMP misses! The EMP missed! No. And there's the recall!
Oh, Cryok, that's heartbreaking, seeing that EMP go off. Oh, so close. He almost reacted to it in time, wasn't quite able to catch it, and the command center will go down again. Cryok needed that command center to live. That is so gutting for him. He does have another command center up on the right hand side. It looks like it didn't die previously, so that's kind of good. He doesn't have to bust another 400 minerals and making yet another command center, and he did manage to catch the next server on the left hand side as well. And suddenly Dragon is only on 157 supply, whereas he was previously maxed. So that brings the totals a little bit closer, although having said that, Cryok is only on 107 supply and is only just mining again, so it's looking pretty grim for our Terran player.
Dude, Cryok is only mining with like 8 SCVs anyway on the 3 o'clock base, and he had like 10 minerals only for a while. Yeah, he's in pretty rough shape. Dragon, meanwhile, he's rebuilding this Nexus that just died. He had the mineral only there anyway. I'm not sure if the dropship even spotted it, but yeah, Dragon is I'm pretty sure has made the sickest comeback, or one of the sickest comebacks I've seen in a while here. I mean, let me remind you guys, he lost his natural Nexus in the beginning of the game to a tank drop. And then, you know, he got 6-facted, so he really should have just died to the 6-fact, to be honest. But just spotting it and then doing, like, beautiful army positioning and defense, he held on. and is now in a pretty commanding position in this game.
Yeah, it was actually miraculous when I kind of replay it in my head of just how this game went. I thought Dragon was just toast in the early stages, but he really fought in the middle there. And it's amazing how much that heavy goon composition was actually able to hold against the six-pack. I really wouldn't have thought it possible.
I'm still not sure how that happened. I mean, if I think about it academically, after losing your natural nexus, if you get six-packed, you should lose.
You die.
Yeah. There's just no two ways about it. So it's just Dragon should not be alive at this point, really. But well, really I think he's deserving of it. And
I think so. He definitely seems to be the best player. Another recall coming in over the right-hand side. Little did Dragon know it's not entirely necessary because Krayok's entire army is moving over to the left, which is basically a last-ditch attempt. It's a big army, but that is his lot. There's no more force coming. He's got nowhere on the map mining. He's just lost the right-hand side, which contained also.
We're gonna have a big engagement though, and the Terran's in a good position. There's not that many zealots. It's all dragoons. They're all stuck together. This is not good. Mass D-Matrix.
Oh, no.
These goons are getting absolutely melted. Look at all the blue goo. Oh my God, Dragon. Lost so much, but look at this. Krayok is down to 67 supply against 162. It doesn't even matter. Krayok has lost all of his mining. Krayok has no income. He has to win with these D-Matrix tanks, and that's it. He's stuck at 157 minerals, and that is it.
Yeah, that Nexus is going to go down once again for the millionth time this game, and he may be able to take out Dragon's last remaining mining base over on the left-hand side here as well. And Dragon chooses this moment to push through the middle of the map, but he just lost his observer, so he could actually lose basically this entire army as he pushes through, and not a pretty significant minefield right here, losing all of his zealots and possibly soon losing all of his dragoons too. And his left-hand side base is really in dire straits, but he has only tanks right there. Krayok has just siege tanks, so no bulge cover, nothing of the kind whatsoever. So it's going to be expensive. Every unit lost is going to hurt.
Oh, and here we go. There's a stasis on the D-Matrix tank. The EMP is not in time. And here we go. These last tanks of Krayok. He's down to 44 supply. This is it. Dragon with the storm. Dragon's closing out the game. Krayok is ruined. He's going to drop out of the group. 0-2. Dragon making the comeback. Will survive to go and play Skyline in the final match here. There is no more hope for Mr. Krayok at sub 30 supply against 140. Sad face. GG. Dragon somehow coming back. I thought after he lost his natural that for sure we would see Krayok in the final match, but no. He plays insane. Protoss.
That's insane. That was unbelievable. I don't know how that happened. I think I'm going to have to go back and watch that one later because that's a real head scratcher.
It really is.
I think we can all learn a thing or two from Dragon in that game.
And I'm trying to think, like, did Krayok do anything significantly wrong in his six-pack? I don't think so. I mean, Dragon did a good reaction, staying on two bases, you know, getting up to 6 or 7 gateways and really getting the position. But he just did, like, a weird walk around and then, you know, just kind of, like, attacked from the side, but still kind of got owned.
Bottom of a ramp, and it was a bit weird. I don't think it's really possible to I don't think it's really possible for Dragon to win that one unless he plays really well and Krayok makes some kind of mistake. I think both of those things have to happen. Just Dragon playing really well I don't think would be enough. So I think that can be attributed to a combination of those factors, but still, taking away no credit from Dragon, I wouldn't fancy anyone's chances in that game, but he pulled it out.
He did indeed, and he is rewarded with another game. Another PvT against Skyline. It's going to be on Fighting Spirit. It will be the final match, so one of those two players, Dragon or Skyline, will advance second from the group. Who's it going to be? We'll find out after the break.
We are back.